Hi, it's Amy. um, and I have a little bit of a cough tonight. I'm a little under the weather. And for me now, if I have something like a cold or something that's coming on, I'm very quick to be like, time out. Everything stops. I'll cancel plans. I'll get more rest, drink more fluids, all the things. And that's a pretty new thing for me. I think like many people for most of my life I just kind of motored through. It was like I don't have time to be sick. I have all of these things to do and I would just push through, especially like when my boys were little and it was like I'm working and I have these little kids and if they're sick and then I'm sick, it's like I don't have time to take care of me. I have all of these other things that I need to take care of. And I was thinking about cars and how cars are probably one of the like greatest inventions, right? This vehicle that can get us from point A to point B and faster and safer and, allow us to um, go further than we've ever gone and, go on trips and see new places and just really made the world a lot smaller because we could get to so many more places. And like with your car, you have to take care of it. It needs maintenance and you need to be on top of things, oil changes and tires and brakes and all of those things. And it's like, I think about, like when the check engine light comes on and it's like, right? It's that dread of like, what could it be? But if you let it go and my dog is definitely going to make this much noise this whole time. So we're just going to pretend it's not happening. But if you just ignore the light and you just let it keep going, like it could be extremely expensive. Like car repairs can be really expensive, especially if you don't take care of stuff right away. So I was thinking about our bodies as vehicles. So we're given these bodies or vehicles for this lifetime and like they're here to help us achieve the things we want to achieve, right? So it gives our spirits a vehicle to explore and learn and feel things and experience things. And how often we just let the check engine light stay on. And I'm so guilty of this for most of my life. And, it really wasn't until 5 or 6 years ago when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis that I really started to pay attention to that. My body has been through so much. Trauma and childbirth and an eating disorder and like just all of these things and not recognizing when I needed to slow down or when I needed something, right? I was just constantly depriving myself of what I needed because I was so busy and everything else seemed so much important to me. And now to think that like that this vehicle isn't the most important thing in my life seems crazy to me because I have so many things I want to do and I'm not going to be able to do any of them if I don't take care of this vehicle, this body. So I was pretty devastated by my diagnosis, this autoimmune disease. And it just felt so limiting and it felt so daunting. And it just made me realize how how precious this is and how I really need to take better care of it. And for a while still, I was still sort of pushing it. And I think, in my mind, I'm just invincible, right? I just have unlimited miles and, I can just do everything. And it's just a matter of like doing it. There's no limit. And I really pushed that consistently. And, like I would get the warnings that like, hey, like your bones are not as strong and like you really have to rest more and you really have to listen to the signals your body is giving you and it was like, yeah, I know all of that. And if I can do it, I'm going to do it. So, constantly just pushing and pushing the limits of what I could do because I have so many things I want to do. And I also went most of my life without being able to ask for help or support on anything. Like somehow it, made the accomplishment better or made me stronger, made me a better person to not have to ask for help and to just do everything by myself, which seems crazy to me now. But, I think I had this mentality that was like, well, if I don't do it, who will? Or if I ask for support, I might have to wait and I want to get this done right now. So I would constantly push. And then about 3 years ago, I hit the wall, and it was a catalyst for really changing the way I managed my life and my health and my body. I mutilated my ankle on Thanksgiving 3 years ago. And it was the stupidest thing. It was like I was making gravy and I needed some flour and I couldn't reach it and I was in a rush and there's tons going on in the kitchen and there's shit everywhere, and I grabbed a chair and I stepped on it and then I came down and just missed my footing. Like I just stepped down from a chair, missed my footing, and broke my ankle in 3 places and dislocated it. It was like 1 second and my ankle blew up. And not only was it incredibly painful, but I had to have surgery, and then I was in a cast, and I had to have people here helping me because I really couldn't get around very well. And it was just, I just felt so helpless and stupid and clumsy and miserable. But at the same time, I really had this immense gratitude for the help I was getting and the downtime that I had. All that time to kind of reflect and really think about what's important to me. And it occurred to me that there's really nothing that's more important than taking care of this body, because without it, I can't do anything. So, I've worked really hard to just make myself a priority. And I notice how many of us, especially moms, especially women too, who just have this like mentality of I have to do all the things all the time. And we're just constantly pushing and not asking for support or asking for help. Like that somehow makes us weaker. And what I found is that when you do finally ask for support, there are people out there who are so happy, especially people who you've supported or, like you've helped. They are so happy to do something for you, to give back, to support you. And it's it's almost like asking for support gives them this greater purpose and appreciation and an opportunity to show their love for you. And it just like is this circle of like, you know, being vulnerable and then getting support and then feeling that love and then giving that love and appreciation back. And then it can just be really beautiful. And I didn't even know what I was missing because I was just so stuck. I'm like, I need to do it. Like somehow it wasn't as good if I got help, or it didn't matter. Like I had to do it. I had to prove something. And this is something that comes up in like many areas of my life, just this need to prove. And I don't even know what I'm trying to prove. Honestly, like I couldn't even tell you or who I'm trying to prove it to. I think a lot of it is just like, I need to prove to myself I can do this. I'm like, for what? I don't even know. So it just, like, I finally sort of gotten to a place where I can appreciate the need to slow down and ask for support and focus on me and my health and just take it more seriously. And like even something like this, like I just have this like little cold, something bubbling up, and I'm like, it's time to rest. Like my body is clearly giving me signs and I'm gonna listen, because when I don't, it's not so it's not so good. Um, so I hope that if this even inspires you a little bit to take it easy or see your body differently, or maybe just ask for a little bit of support once in a while, that would make me so happy, because like it really is important, and it took me a long time to learn that. And like I had gone through so much to get so much like needless stuff, um and I wish I had figured it out sooner. So if I can help anyone to understand the value of making yourself a priority, and sometimes that means asking for help, then I'm happy. So I'll leave you with that.